the summer heat slow you down? Guys, Barbell Apparel is here to keep your training on track with up to 30% off their entire line of performance-driven clothing. Their lightweight and durable fabrics are engineered to keep you cool and performing at your highest level. Like Navy SEAL Chad Wright, who just ran a mind-blowing 250-mile race in Barbell's ultralight gear. Join Barbell's community of athletes who make no excuses and settle for nothing less than the best. Backed by a 365-day, no questions asked guarantee, Barbell's training gear and casual wear is built to power whatever your workouts, work days, and adventures demand. Head over to barbellapparel.com right now before this sale ends. Well, he beat him. Izzy beat him. So, I mean, what do you think of that statement? Because I mean it. I don't say that to have a clever hook. I don't say it tongue in cheek. I grew up in the sport of wrestling. And on the very rare occasion that somebody could not go on, the very rare occasion, we went on. We went on without them. Whether they didn't show up for the match to start with, or they started the match and decided they didn't want to finish it. Either way, we went on. And it was a loss to them, and it was a win for the guy that did show up. Izzy beat Du Plessis. Period. Period. He set a date. He agreed to show up. He continued on. Du Plessis isn't showing up. Now, I don't want to give Du Plessis a hard time because I don't know what ailment he's dealing with. Right? He has the right to keep that private. I know that it's very common in our industry now to go put your x-rays out and put your doctors out. I think that's a really, really weird thing to do. And so I just want him to get well. But John Cena was going to take on The Rock in the main event of WrestleMania. And John Cena starts to walk out, and it's the crowd and the lights and the allure and the media and the production. And John Cena looks at a camera and he says, once in a lifetime, he's walking to the ring. The Rock's waiting for him. He says, once in a lifetime opportunity. Then he looks around again and he says, yeah, I think so. And then he makes his walk. But I remember that. And he's right. You're not going to be able to get certain things in life again. It's a one-time opportunity. Now, Du Plessis versus Adesanya works in Vegas. It works at Madison Square Garden. I get it. That's a big fight. I'm a supporter. What's going to happen in Australia with the debut of this new TV contract, what's going to happen with the media and the power of Izzy, the power of that entire gym, quite frankly. Talking about city kickboxing. In that location, you just can't redo. You just can't redo it. And it's one of those things that I am surprised. I've had people ask me what is so great about Du Plessis. How did he go from an undercard that nobody even knew to the true, legitimate, undisputed, nobody argues it, #1 contender? How did he do that so fast? It was from December to now. How did he do that so fast? And I've answered the question. He's tough. He is tough. And that's not much of an analysis. That is a very lazy approach, in fact. But some guys, it's a different answer. They have a rhythm. They have a speed. They have a length. Most of the greats over time did have something about their body that was unique. Think about Mike Tyson, just by example. How short he was, how compact he was, how powerful he was because of that stature. You can't get that in a gym. You can't get that through supplements. You can't get that through training. But a lot of the greats have something about their body that's very unique. If you look at just the size, the height, and the weight of Simone Biles, who might be the greatest athlete on earth today. She might be the best athlete ever born. It's just something very unique that you can't get. Just can't. Some guys have a speed, some guys have a power. Just for example, but that isn't the case when I watch Du Plessis, at least not that I've been able to identify. He is tough. He has grit. He will go for it. He's got nerves of steel. He wants it. He's hungry. He fought just to get on TV, just to be televised. He fought, and he got it. And when people ask me about him, it's what I say. I say he's tough, and now we're in this situation where, he's not going to show up. And I don't know what to do about it. But I can tell you for sure, Adesanya is not at 100%. I'll just use that example. He's not at 100%. Nobody is. How could you be? How could you ever expect that even? How could you reasonably expect a guy that goes into a gym every day with trained killers and exchanges punches and kicks and slams, stretches and strangles, would ever be feeling great? You ever watch championship matches? You watch the Olympics, by example, you watch the gold medal match. Every athlete in every sport has one thing in common, which is if the camera's on them before the match, they got ice on them. They got somebody working something out. They're taped up. They got a swollen eye. They got a head wrap on. They're getting their ankles taped. None of them feel good. And it really is a spot where, what a missed opportunity. And I just wanted to predict that for a guy that fought so hard and really earned the respect of all of us, the respect of the promoters, the respect of the media, the attention and the respect of Adesanya. I mean, it's just one of those things I would not think that this would have happened. And I do look at it as a loss. I do not believe that Du Plessis is in a position right now to continue to bark or talk trash about Adesanya. The rules of the playground carry over to the octagon, for sure. If two guys square up and one guy backs down, it does not matter. If it would have happened, he would have won it. Probably lots of times, yeah, for sure. But that's still the way it goes. And I think that it's meaningful. I really do. I think it's meaningful, guys, because now you have Sean Strickland, who will represent the lowest ranked #1 contender that I can remember in a meaningful period of time. And by the way, Sean's the right guy. Absolutely, Sean's the right guy. Absolutely, this was the right move. But I've spoke to you guys at length about Benny DeRouche's situation. He was in a #1 contenders match. He lost, but the guy that he lost to can't go on. And our sport says, well, you lost. When we're going to have a conversation about who should be next, you are eliminated because you lost the #1 contenders match. That isn't true. It just appears to be true. There is a clause that goes back from the beginning of this sport in Japan known as the Survivor's Clause, which means whoever can go on is the guy if the other guy can't go on. And I thought that Benny should have argued it. And I feel that Sean Strickland and this opportunity represents that the Survivor Clause is real, that we have it and we do it even if we don't speak about it. And the fact that Izzy didn't blink, that's a hard fight for Izzy. That's a hard fight for anybody, Sean Strickland. And Sean Strickland's experience with Piera works in Sean's advantage. That night that he had, that frustration he had from standing there and taking those shots when he had other skills and other things that he could have done, rushing a situation instead of showing a little bit of patience. As hard as that was for Sean, I spoke to him many times after that match, as hard as that was for him, oh my goodness, you know how helpful that is right now? All that pain is gone. Now it's just an experience. I'm just sharing with you, he's going to know how to fight Izzy. That is a very, very difficult match. And you want to know who'd agree with me? Izzy. And the reason I bring that up is it's just a different mindset. I'm telling you right now, Izzy doesn't feel great. I don't know what's wrong with him. I also don't know what's wrong with DDP, but I know there's something. There's always something. Something with Strickland, something with all the guys. But you have a different mentality. You have a different approach. You have a different code that you live by. Once you say yes, it's a yes. Period. For some guys. Adesanya turns out to be one of those guys. And what a difference a day can make. Michael Bisping is amongst the toughest guys to ever do this sport. But when Michael Bisping was given his title opportunity, it was on 8 days' notice. He wasn't the one. It wasn't the one that they wanted. He wasn't one that we're going to put in. His ranking, his record, I really can't remember it off the top of my head now. But I know he was not first choice. Not only won and became world champion, he stopped his opponent in the first round. Went into the Hall of Fame. I mean, his whole life changed by saying yes, by taking opportunities. He didn't look at it and say, hey, this is a hard match. I don't know if this is going to go my way. It was an opportunity. He said yes. Hey, I'm not in shape. I haven't prepared for this. My weight's heavier than it usually is. He said yes. He figured it out. He understood that 80% of success is just showing up. And I don't want to kick Du Plessis. I really don't. He's got an injury, and my message is, hey, I hope you get well soon. But I wanted to predict this. And Du Plessis laid the groundwork for this. I never spoke about it to you guys. I dismissed it. He laid the groundwork for this at the press conference after he beat Whitaker and when he went face-to-face with Adesanya. When he went face-to-face with Izzy and they had that interview, the next thing Du Plessis did is lay the groundwork to not do this match. And it was a surprise, and I dismissed it. You got adrenaline, you got a lot of things going, you say things. But if you go back to that press conference, you will hear him say, well, we'll see. It's pretty soon. I'm dealing with some stuff. We'll see how this goes. And up until that point, and prior to that face-to-face, it was yes, 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 yes. Please, 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 me the whole time. There was one glimpse. And now we're seeing that had some fuel added to it. And who knows? I mean, who knows what happens? If Strickland beats Izzy, we're not even talking Izzy, Du Plessis. It's just gone. I mean, it's one of those things. You got to get the matches you can get when you can get them. You got to win the matches you can win when you can win them. Don't think I'll do it tomorrow. Don't think I'll do it down the line. And it's one of those spots. I don't know how this is going to play out, but I do think that's a lesson for our sport. I think it's a lesson for the guys. And it's been taught to us since 1993. But it seems to be a lesson that we forget constantly and have to be reminded of. We've had guys that have come out with threats and say, I'm not going to fight again. If you don't such and such, then I won't fight again. We're going to hold the events that are already scheduled a year in advance. We're going to hold them when we say we're going to hold them. And we're going to hold those title matches when we say we're going to hold them. We are going to go on with it, and we're going to figure it out with or without you. And Adesanya not blinking and moving right in to Sean Strickland. Man, they don't make him like him. They just don't. He's got a mindset. He's got a competitiveness. There's not 5 athletes in the world. Any sport, any way you want to do it. And there's possibly not 5 athletes in the history of sport. Truly. With the mindset of Adesanya. It's an amazing thing to watch, and I don't want you to miss it.